Hello, I'm Shukla Choudhury and welcome to my online class. Today we are going to discuss a famous comedy written by the great dramatist George Bernard Shaw. The name of the drama is Arms and the Man. The drama, no doubt, is humorous, but it forces you to think because George Bernard Shaw's Arms and the Man is a thought-provoking drama, aptly written in the title, anti-romantic comedy. The drama, no doubt, followed this tone right from Act 1 to Act 3. It is an anti-romantic comedy because Shaw has taken all the aspects of human life, in fact, romantic aspects of human life, like love, marriage, war, soldiering, and then criticized it. Shaw, in his drama, has ridiculed and exposed the different romantic notions of human life. Perhaps he wanted to let his audience and his readers know the truth about the various romantic aspects of human life. He's witty sometimes, but most of the time he's thought-provoking, and hence the theme of this drama is war and love. The drama starts with a very romantic scenario. We see that Raina, who is also the heroine of the drama and who is very young, rich, beautiful and stylish and of course very, very romantic, is standing in her balcony and enjoying the Bulgarian night. Just then, her mother Catherine comes and she informs her that her fiancé Sergius, who is now in battlefield, has actually had a victorious cavalry charge. She's ecstatic, she's happy, she's excited. Not because her fiancé has had a very victorious charge over the enemy, but because her romantic notion towards the war has proved to be true. That's her idea of romance and romantic attitude towards the war. Towards love also, she calls her fiancé as hero. She often says, my hero, my hero. And when he comes back from the battlefield, she calls him my hero, my king. Sergius, in the same way, in a similar manner, he is also very romantic and he also shares the same kind of romantic attitude towards Raina. When Raina calls him my hero, my king, he retaliates by saying, my queen, and you are the inspiration behind my heroic charge in the battlefield. Now, this is the height of romance. Here, Shaw has actually depicted a difference between higher love and real love. Both Sergius and Raina, they are having a feeling of higher love. Since they are too much romantic towards life, they are having this feeling of higher love for each other. So they naturally use these superficial words to impress each other. But it's different from real love. In real love, the passion factor is so strong that you need not use these superficial words in order to impress each other, or you need not act. That's why perhaps Sergius and Raina later on part their ways, because higher love doesn't really soothe your heart and soul. This attitude of Raina towards life is extremely romantic. And just after that comes the climax where Shaw proves that it's an anti-romantic drama, because Raina's romantic attitude towards life and love and war is shattered when she meets Bluntschli. Now, who is Bluntschli? Well, when the Bulgarian cavalry charge was searching for the Serbian fugitives after the war, Bluntschli is one of those Serbian fugitives who took shelter in Raina's bedchamber. He went to Raina's bedchamber for shelter, but later on they start a conversation. And during that conversation, Bluntschli tells Raina actually the real fact that happened during Sergius' famous cavalry charge. That is, it was an act of extremely foolishness, and it had been suicidal if the Serbian army had the right kind of ammunition with them. Sergius had made it look very heroic. Everyone, including Raina and Catherine, they also had a very romantic idea and romantic notions regarding the war. But Bluntschli tells them the reality. He tells more. He tells that each and every soldier wants to live as long as he can. Then again he tells that 9 out of 10 soldiers are fools. Then again he says that the matured and experienced soldiers, they always keep foodstuffs in their pockets because they are much more important than the ammunition. And it's only the inexperienced and young soldiers, they keep the ammunition with them. So all these things were heard by Raina just for the first time, and her idea, her perception regarding the war and the romantic side of life, everything's shattered. On the other hand, Sergius, who is also as romantic as Raina. Let's come to the Sergius factor. He thinks he has done a heroic effort in a cavalry charge where he was victorious. But no, he did a blunder, and that's why he was not promoted, and that's why he was disheartened. But he always considered himself correct and he's right, so he says Sergius is always right. Then again, he realizes that when he is denied the promotion, he realizes actually what he thought was very romantic is not at all romantic. This heroic effort is not at all heroic. In fact, it's very coward-like act because the soldiers attack the enemy when they are strong and the enemy is weak. And again, they run away when the enemy is strong and they are weak. So what's so heroic about it? It's in fact very coward act. And then Sergius realizes that soldiering is not only a very interesting or very romantic affair. In fact, it's just like a trade, just like any other trade. So his illusions regarding war and soldiering is shattered. Then again, he hears that when he was in the battlefield, Raina was involved with another man. And Sergius, he himself, is not very honest about his higher love, because he was also flirting with Loka, who is Raina's maidservant. And when Raina comes to know about this, her illusion towards higher love, romance, marriage, everything is again shattered. So, Shaw, by showing that love and marriage and soldiering and war, everything is should be dealt in a practical field. There's nothing romantic about it. However, in these manners, the romantic view of love and soldiering is exposed and ridiculed by Shaw. But if we study critically the drama, in order to achieve his anti-romantic purpose, George Bernard Shaw has taken the help of exaggeration of reality. A fugitive soldier may demand food when he is starving, but it is hard to believe that he would demand chocolate. In this play, Bluntschli demands chocolate from Raina when he returns from battlefield after 3 days. Again, higher class person like Sergius usually marries a higher class woman like Raina, but in this case, he is agreed to marry Loka, the maidservant of Raina's family. Although Bluntschli says that soldiers are born fools, it's not credible to them to not to observe a pistol lying before them, even after a thorough search, while a maidservant like Loka notices it as soon as she enters the room. However, though the play is an anti-romantic play, And the dramatist undoubtedly has succeeded in exposing the romantic notions of life. The play has enough romance in it. The play opens with a romantic setting. Then there are thrills, shootings, fugitives, pursuers, romance, lovers. There is also a romantic knight and his heroic cavalry charge. The resolution of the drama is brought about by the simple technique of having all the characters recognize their basic nature and yield to it. In conclusion, we can say that George Bernard Shaw's Arms and the Man is an anti-romantic comedy. Though it starts with a romantic scenario, but it ends with the fact that Shaw has very successfully ridiculed and exposed all the romantic notions of human life and said that there is nothing romantic about love and war. In fact, a person should be practical and look at these romantic notions of life in a practical manner. That's why he has termed his book aptly anti-romantic comedy. That's all for today, and see you with another masterpiece.